Department of MBA, International Business Management Studies, Acharya Nagarjuna University. Today we are going to study about approaches to organizational behavior. Okay, so what were the approaches of organizational behavior? First one is human resource approach, contingency approach, productivity approach, and systems approach. So these are the four basic types of approaches towards organizational behavior. Coming to first one, human resource approach. So what does human resource approach means? Basically, this approach is also known as supportive approach, where manager supports the employees who are working in the organization. Okay. And coming to human resource approach, before human resource approach, we know about traditional approach. Okay. Traditional approach means where managers decided what employees should do. Okay, and they closely monitored their performance in traditional approach. But coming to HR approach, the role of the managers changed from structuring and controlling, okay, to supporting. Before that, in traditional approach, we will see how closely he monitors the performance of the employees, and at the same time, okay, he controls the employees, he structures the employees. But now coming to human resource approach, a huge concern towards the employees is shown in this approach. Okay, human resource approach means concern towards, high concern towards employees. In which way? By supporting them. Okay, so supporting them in the way of motivating them. Okay, by giving some job satisfaction. Okay, and by showing them in their growth, employee development. Okay, by giving training and development facilities. Okay, and at the same time by creating a good positive work environment. Okay, and trying to give them more training and development facilities programs for their development, career development. Okay, and at the same time here they also increasing the efficiency of employee. Okay, so because people are the employees are the main backbone towards the organization, the management tries to be very positive towards employees. Okay, in order to uh, draw good performance from the employees. Okay, therefore human resource approach is concerned with people or the individuals working in the organization with their growth and development. Okay, towards higher level of competency, creativity, okay, capabilities, potentialities. Okay, all these are related to the higher growth of the employees, which will help for the increase in the competency levels of the employee. Coming to contingency approach. So what does contingency approach means? A contingency approach to organizational behavior implies that different situations require different behavioral practices for effectiveness instead of the traditional approach to one best way for all situations. Okay, the basic concept of contingency approach means contingency refers to, okay, contingency refers to the situations, different situations. There will be no one best way for any problem. Okay, there will be no, this is for this problem, this is the only solution, like that there will not be any such kind of thing happens. Okay, it purely depends, the manager purely takes decisions depending upon the situation, depending upon the problem that have arisen at that particular situation. So decisions will be taken depending upon the situation. So this approach is known as a contingency approach. Okay, here manager's task is to identify which method for a particular situation will work. Okay, and contribute for organizational goals. So the manager task is mainly to identify here. Okay, identify means for that particular problem which method we have to apply in order to achieve our organizational goals. Okay, therefore uh, contingency approach is more interdisciplinary and more system oriented, more research oriented than any other approach. Why? Because it depends purely, decision making is purely on the basis of situation. Okay, so situation in the sense it applies. We studied before many disciplines regarding OB like psychology, sociology, anthropology. Okay, so all these disciplines help, the studies of those disciplines will be applied here. Okay, in the form of contingency approach depending upon the situation. Okay, now coming to productive approach. What does productivity approach means? It is a ratio that compares units of output with units of input. It is often measured in terms of economic inputs and outputs. Okay, so it means that it measures the, okay, it measures efficiency in optimizing the resources of the organization. Okay, that is known as the output to input ratio. Means efficiency, how manager is efficient, okay, in utilizing, in maximizing the resources of the organizations. Okay, here productivity in the sense not only in the production of goods but also related to human aspects, social aspects, economic issues. Okay, all these, in all these aspects also we should see productivity. Okay, so productivity is a significant part of all these decisions, human decisions, social issues, economic issues. Okay, like that. For example, productivity in the sense, for example, if I identified a productivity problem, what is that? We installed faster computers according to our requirement in the organization. Okay, we have installed the computers, but we forget to install computer operators, for example. Okay, so that means productivity means approach means we have to identify a productivity problem even though we installed computers in our organization, but in order to operate them we forgot to install the faster computer operators. Okay, so productivity means not only in production of goods but also it is essential to see regarding human issues, social issues, economic issues, all. Okay, so this is known as a productivity approach. And coming to systems approach. What does systems approach means? A system is an interrelated part that interact with one another and functions as a whole. System means, as I said before, system means the whole concept or the whole elements, the all the levels in the organization is known as a whole system. So the components that are related with the organization are considered as a system. We know that elements like people, structure, technology, environment, okay, all these are considered as a system because without people, without technology, without structure, without environment, a system or an organization cannot be executed. Okay, so the system view emphasizes the interdependence of each of these elements. People depend on technology, people depend on structure, interrelated, interactive analysis, and all these three internal elements will be dependent on the external environment. Like that, the system approach is interrelated part. All these interact with one another. Okay, like that, the whole elements will be involved, the whole elements will be functioned in an organization, whole elements will be considered as a system in the organization. Okay, so this is about the different approaches in the organizational behavior. Now coming to nature of organizational behavior. So what does nature of organizational behavior means? So what were the features? Nature is nothing but the features of organizational behavior. What are the features? So it is not, first one is separate field of study, not a discipline. Okay, it is a separate field of study, not a discipline. Why? Because discipline means we know that it is a accepted science or a subject. Okay, so it will have certain theories, certain experiments, certain principles. It is a broad based one. Okay, so here but here organizational behavior is not considered as a discipline. Okay, so therefore it is considered as a separate field of study, not a discipline, because discipline consists of principles, theories, experiments, etc. Okay, and data will be there regarding that, but here depending upon the observations, depending upon the behaviors, we will tackle the problem. Okay, we will solve the problem. Therefore OB is a broad based concept, interdisciplinary orientation, because it applies other theories, concepts. Okay, that's why it is known as applied science also. So therefore depending upon the situation, it applies the other disciplinary subjects in this OB. Therefore, it cannot be treated as a science because it is not a discipline. Coming to interdisciplinary approach, it is another feature of OB. Interdisciplinary approach means multi-discipline subjects were involved in this approach. Why? Because organizational behavior uses different subjects, different disciplines for the applicability, like psychology, socio-psychology, sociology, anthropology, economics, political science, law, history, all will be involved with the organizational behavior, because it is with, it deals with all the environmental factors, political factors, legal issues. It depends upon the socio-cultural aspects. Okay, it studies the psychology of a person, anthropology of a man. It deals with the science of a man, how his biological features will be, how his behavior will be. Okay, from which civilization he is from, all these aspects will be studied. Therefore all these are necessary for OB, and thus it is known as an interdisciplinary approach. Why? Because all these subjects were assisted for the OB. Applied science, next one. Applied science means research on various behavioral aspects of employee is conducted to improve existing conditions in organization. Okay, therefore we have certain problems in the organization. Okay, so in order to improve those conditions, okay, we need some research. Okay, so different fields of subjects, different fields of disciplines will be studied, researched, and which will be apt to that particular problem will be applied there. Okay, therefore it is known as applied science. We can take any discipline regarding to that problem. Okay, for example, if we are dealing with any legal issues, then we have to study about the law. Okay, we have to study the legalities, rules and regulations regarding the jurisdiction. Likewise it becomes an applied science. Therefore researchers in the field of OB have focused on cause and effect orientation to understand the cause of a behavior and outcome of that behavior in an organization. Okay, so this is known as applied science. For example, what can be done to motivate employees? Okay, so we have to find out the variables that will motivate the employees. Okay, so we are applying, we are researching, we will find some variables which will motivate the employees, and finally we will apply that in this uh, aspect. Okay, so this is known as applied science. Here we know that organizational behavior means the main goal of organizational behavior is what we have to understand we have to interpret, and finally we have to find out a solution, or we have to control that problem with taking some actions, okay, considering some variables. So that is known as applied science here. So we research on a problem, we will understand the problem, we interpret the problem, and finally we will get into the action. Coming to normative science prescribes how the various findings of research can be applied to get organizational results which are acceptable to people and society. Okay, so various findings of research. So normative science means it prescribes the cause and effect. It suggests the cause and effect relationship. Okay, it prescribes how various findings of researches can be applied to get results which are acceptable to the society. Okay, and coming to humanistic and optimistic approach. So it is basically based on the acceptance, high concern for people, okay, and acceptance of value of individual thinking, okay, individual thinking, feeling, etc. And here optimism is about innate potentialities of the individual to be independent, creative, productive, okay, and capable of contributing positively to the object of organization. So humanistic and optimistic means that. Humanistic means, once again, humanistic means high concern for people, and optimistic means those individuals are free to have their individual thinking. Okay, acceptance for individual thinking is there, acceptance for individual feelings is there. Okay, so this will optimize the innate potentialities of man to be independent, creative, productive, okay, like that. Next one, a total system approach. Okay, a total system approach means organization is a system where different components are linked with each other. Okay, and OP does not have take man in an isolation but as a product of socio psychological factors. It is not considered as a single component. Man is with consist with different factors like socio psychological factors, cultural factors, many factors. Behavior goes by psychological framework, interpersonal orientation, group influence, okay, social factors and cultural factors. So system, we know system means all the elements which are concerned with organization are known as a total system. Like that, here man is also not a single person, he is also interacted with all these factors like psychological, sociological, interpersonal orientation. Okay, so all these variables will affect a total system approach, okay, to the study the to study complexity and find a solution for all these things. As a whole, we have to study, okay, in all these aspects we have to study about man. So organization is a system where different components linked with each other. Okay, okay, coming to significance and importance of organizational behavior. What does the significance and importance of OB means? Here, managing work diversity. First one is, so what is the importance means? Managing a work diversity. Managing work diversity means it manager should control and direct. Workforce diversity means organizations are becoming more heterogeneous in terms of gender, which varies from norms. It includes women, South Indians, Punjabis, Bengalis, physically disabled, etc. So these were the examples quoted regarding heterogeneity. Homogeneity means similarity. Heterogeneity means we see the differentiation. Here, heterogeneity in employees who are working in the organization. Okay, so workforce diversity means we will see diversity, heterogeneity in workforce in the organization. So in organization, the employees will be there working. but there will be diversities in the form of uh, gender. That means there male will be working, female will be working, okay, and in the name of areas, geographical areas, okay, or else physically disabled, okay, like that differentiation will be there, heterogeneity will be seen. Why we will see managing work diversity as an important aspect means we have to utilize the capabilities of different people from different cultures, okay, different genders. If we consider male and female means physically male will be more energetical than female, okay, like that we have to utilize the energy, we have to utilize the resources in a maximum context, okay. So managing work diversity in order to manage all the people from all the cultures also, it is very important because from different countries or from different geographical areas they will come to work in our organization. So we have to accommodate all the diverse people, all the diverse group of people uh, in our organization, like accommodating like their needs, their work style, their lifestyle, okay. All these should be considered by the organization, okay. We have to facilitate them, so that is known as managing work diversity. So in order to manage the workforce diversity, it is a need to study about organizational behavior. Why? Because from different cultures, from different areas, from different genders, the behavior will be different. So therefore we have to study all the behaviors of different heterogeneous employees. Next one is improving ethical behavior. What does ethical behavior means? Okay, what does ethical behavior? The moral values. Okay, so in order to improve the moral values, uh, by a manager, he can control and directs the behavior at all levels of individual by interacting them. Okay, so by interacting them means by having a positive communication and coordination with the employees, okay, and by motivating them in a proper way, okay, by following the ethical values, moral values, we may improve the individuals' moral values, working hardly towards the organizational goals in order to work for the accomplishment of organizational goals, okay. So that is ethical values. Ethical values are not written in any policies or procedures of any organization, but we have to follow those ethics, okay. So that is known as improving ethical behavior. This can be done by having a good positive environment, a good individual interaction between the employees. Coming to, so for that purpose, organizational behavior study is very important to increase the ethical behavior in individuals. Then only conflicts cannot be seen, differences cannot be seen within the organization. It defines authority, power, and status of an employee. OB explains how various means of power and sanction can be utilized so that both the organizational and individual objectives are achieved simultaneously. Okay, defines authority, power, and status means here a structure should be made, a formal structure should be given, which means that the roles and responsibilities, the authority and power, it should be stated clearly. Okay, therefore, then the what to say means integration should be made by the structuring of authority, power, and status of an employee, okay, in order to accomplish the organizational objectives. Individual objectives should be integrated with organizational objectives finally at the end of the day, okay. So we have to give some authority, power, and status to employee, then a job satisfaction can be seen, okay. so which gives a good impact on the individual performance also, feeling that uh, responsibility towards his work. Okay, so he will be responsible for his work, and it creates a positive environment also. In making communication means it helps people for communication also. Organizational behavior is important. Communication help people to come in contact with each other. Therefore, to achieve organizational objectives, effective communication is needed. We know that communication means passing of information from one another, okay, one to another people. So, while communicating, the communication should be a proper communication without any distortion. So, we have if to give a effective communication, we have to study the behaviors of people. Okay, so a communication is also important aspect. Next, solve human problem in organizations. So OB contains a body of theory, researchers, and applications. Therefore, the study of these theories and researches helps or assists in order to solve the problems in the organization. Okay, by application of different fields of study, by studying different theories, different researches, different applications, okay, we will apply those in our organization's problems. Okay, so these are all the important aspects of organizational behavior.